Hey guys, Johnny here from MTB Trail Rider. I am back again, and to tell you that I just raced in my first ever XTERRA triathlon. Now this is my first triathlon at all. I haven't done any type of triathlon. This is my first XTERRA triathlon. It's an off-road triathlon. It's mountain biking and trail run versus the pavement pounding of your traditional triathlon. And it was brutal, it was hot, and honestly it was kind of awesome. I finished 5th in my age group and just 2.5 minutes off a podium finish for the age group, which, you know, not bad for a full-time working dad. And honestly, in terms of swimming, last time I even swam just 500 yards would have been back in high school. Yes, I've swam at the lake. I've done some swimming laps in general for exercise over the years, but this race was an 800-meter swim, so about 875 total yards. But this wasn't just about racing. It was about regaining a passion that I almost kind of walked away from, and what this channel is kind of going to become kind of moving forward. Right. So when I moved from Chattanooga, Tennessee to here in Southwest Michigan, I kind of lost the spark for mountain biking. The trails here just don't compare to what's back in Chattanooga, right? Chattanooga has, you know, hundreds of miles of all kinds of different types of terrain, from your cross-country trails to your smooth, flowy trails to technical trails to now a downhill bike park there at Walden Ridge. You know, just riding was fun. I wasn't mountain biking for the exercise or for the fitness. I was doing it because it was fun. Here, Southwest Michigan, I didn't have that. So I just kind of was slowly kind of putting the mountain bike away. So my brother-in-law told me about this XTERRA race that was close by. And honestly, there's no pavement, there's no road bikes, there's no road running. Immediately caught my attention, and honestly I kind of signed up more on impulse. I think I said yes and committed to it that day, and suddenly I had a reason to dust off the bike and start training. I say training again, but really just start training in general, because I never, like I said, I wasn't mountain biking for training for fitness. I was mountain biking for the fun of it, to go fast, to go down the mountain, right? We took the trucks up so we could shut up to the top, and then we rode down. That was my mountain biking experience, right? That's what I enjoyed in Chattanooga, and riding with my buddy Travis down there. And so now we're training again, right? I had about 8 to 10 weeks maybe from when I signed up to the start of the race. And like I said before that, I hadn't done really any swimming of that length. Definitely no open water swimming for outside of just playing in the lake, right? I started doing weekly trail runs with my wife. She was happy for me to get back into running with her. We started doing weekly trail runs together on Sundays. It was great for us to kind of get back and do that with her. I also joined Fort Miami CrossFit, and just really got serious about understanding endurance training. Started studying a lot of what Matt Fitzgerald teaches, and his approach to both training and his talks on the endurance diet. We'll cover all that in future videos if we really want to dive into how I'm actually incorporating that into my busy lifestyle as a full-time employee in the corporate world, also as a husband, as a dad of 2 young boys, and how do you balance everything, right? But getting back into this, getting on the bike, I started having a lot of fun again. And it wasn't the trails, right? It was having a goal. It was suddenly those local trails became my training ground. Yes, they were still the same trails, and even though they weren't fun, right, by themselves anymore, now I had purpose behind getting on the bike, and now those trails were provided data for me. You know, it's like I've got different apps connected to my smartwatch, to my phone. And so I'm taking this data from those trails and from my rides and studying them on how I can get better, and training them with just different data, right? Very analytical. But it became fun again to be on the bike, and that's the point. So race day. Race day was hot, much hotter than usual for June. The race was June 21st. I think the temperatures were low 80s when we started. Typically that's our highs here in Southwest Michigan at that time of year. When the race was finished, we were probably pushing 90 degrees when we finished. Sunny, it was hot. And I didn't adjust my hydration plan accordingly. Huge mistake. I actually even, setting up the transition area, I was planning to have an additional water bottle just kind of there at transition, specifically for me to just down some additional electrolytes in my transitions. And I forgot it, or I left it in the car or my backpack or something. It wasn't there at my transitions. And that was rough. I had some water and electrolytes on my bike, which was obviously planned and that was expected. I had that there. But because it was so hot, I felt like I was going through my water faster than usual. And I knew I was going to have some trouble on the run. When I got to the run, my legs just did not want to work. It was just with the dehydration, the hot heat, racing, lack of electrolytes, water, my legs were cramping the entire run. And so it was a very much of a mix of running and walking, and that lost a lot of time actually. But let's kind of talk about some of the other transitions kind of leading up before that. We got to use a wetsuit. Temperature was right at 78 degrees, which made it wetsuit legal for our race with USA Triathlon. I felt good on the swim, swam faster than I expected, which was great, and I felt good coming out of that. I didn't feel overly exhausted coming out of that swim, so that was great. First transition was clean. T1 took me about a minute, 38 seconds, getting the wetsuit off, getting my shoes on, getting my fuel, kind of getting the helmet on, glasses, etc., and taking off. That was a good time. I felt like that was good overall. Second transition was speedy fast. I think I was the second fastest transition of the entire racers. That was 25 seconds because I wasn't clipping into my bike. So the trail run shoes that I was using for the trail run, I just used for the bike. So I had those on already. Since I didn't have any extra water with me, when I come into the transition with the bike, it was literally put the bike on the rack, throw my helmet off, and just kept going. So but the bike felt strong. I felt good on the bike and made a lot of passes. A lot of people got hung up on rock gardens and different technical sections. There were some little flowy sections, definitely a cross-country trail. Like I said, once I hit the run, I crashed. The heat and poor hydration hit hard. My pace tanked, but still I crossed the finish line. It's like 2 hours and 38 minutes, I think, is what the total chip time was, which was right at my target. I kind of wanted that 2 hours and 30-minute mark. Yes, 8 minutes is quite a bit of time when you're looking at a race, but the pacing along the way, aside from the run, was where I needed to be. So the run is what really hurt me. I finished 34th overall. I think there was 100 racers, 80 racers, 80 to 100, I'm not sure exactly. But I finished 5th in my age group and only 2 minutes and 25 seconds from a podium finish. And when I was looking at that third place finisher, I had the better swim, better transition, better bike, better second transition, and it was the run where he passed me. And that hurts. It stings a little bit, right? But it also got me excited for kind of what's next, right? This experience really overall brought purpose back to my riding and training, and now it's bringing a new direction to this channel, which is kind of what I'm doing here with this video. If you followed me here for mountain biking content, don't worry. The trails are still a big part of my life now. You know, I guess they're getting back into this channel, back into my life with the training aspect of training for future XTERRA and off-road triathlons. But this channel is really going to be shifting towards that off-road triathlon training. So we're going to be talking XTERRA, local off-road tries, right? Trail running, race prep, nutrition. I'll be kind of talking about CrossFit integration with my workouts and with my training, and how that's playing a role in prepping for future races. Speaking a lot with, in regards to Fort Miami CrossFit, where I'm a member at, all from the lens of just a regular guy balancing work, family, life, all the above, right? You're going to see training logs, race recaps, recovery, fueling tips, and just real talk about what it's like to chase endurance while also chasing kids and around the house, right? Growing young boys, raising young boys, being a husband who's present in his marriage, right? There's a lot that goes into racing when you have a full life. And I'm not a pro. I'm not chasing the XTERRA World Series, right? I'm not trying to finish, top overall or anything like that. But I am someone who wants to challenge myself to finish strong. I do want to challenge myself to be competitive where I am, right? And without giving up the rest of my life, right? Because there's a lot that we do. There's a lot that my family does, adventure-wise, just spending time together. We are very active in our household and don't want to give that up, but I also want to be an example to my kids on what it's on doing hard things, right? I don't want them to grow up seeing their dad who's too tired to exercise, who's too tired to play, who after work goes and sits down on the couch and watches TV because he's too tired, he's too worn out, whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, right, with work. Since kind of picking up this training, my body has felt better. Mentally, I've been more aware, more acute, more psychologically available. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I feel so much better since I picked up this training. And yes, it's taken more time and more dedication and more focus to fit in that training, but it is 100% made a huge impact on my life as a dad, as a husband, and just feeling good overall. So what's next, right? We did this race in June. Next race is maybe September? Question mark. There's a smaller off-road try about 3.5 hours from me in Pontiac, Michigan, I think is where it's at. Then next year, I want to come back to Potato Creek, do the race I just did again, and kind of aiming for more of that podium finish in my age group. And then after that, maybe the XTERRA course in Branson, Missouri. That would be in September 2026. They don't have it actually listed yet. That it would be a mile swim. That would be then a 18 to 20 mile mountain bike, and then a 6.5 mile trail run. And the terrain out there is a lot bigger than what I have here in northern Indiana, southwest Michigan, just given the nature of the topography of southern Missouri in that space. So definitely a much bigger course, definitely going to take some training. That's kind of why I'm looking at that 1.5 years out to that next race, but using these other races along the way and prepping my training. And then that gives us a lot of insight and direction for this channel going into these trainings, and how am I going to be measuring my success along the way to that big race, essentially kind of using that XTERRA in Branson, Missouri as kind of the pinnacle of the next 1.5 years of this channel, and really seeing how we perform and what that race looks like and how the results look like, and overall just how does someone who's not a pro, an amateur racer, an amateur rider, an amateur swimmer, runner in general, do this training and be competitive. If you've done a triathlon, if you've done the XTERRA, the off-road triathlons, drop a comment. I'd love to kind of hear some other people's perspective on what they've done, what their experience was. If you've been following this channel, if you're new to this and just found this channel through this video and curious about just kind of how we got here, yeah, drop a comment. I'd love to kind of get to know you. I've met a lot of people over the years through this channel, whether running into them locally on the trails, whether they're just meeting them and talking to them through online chats, whatever it might be. I do love this platform, and I do love connecting with other people and what this channel has been able to do for me to connect to others. If this resonates with you, and if you've been through this video this long and you're not subscribed to this channel, click that subscribe button, because there's going to be more of this coming along the way. And I would love to just, like I said already, get to know you guys more through these chats, through these comments, potentially live videos along the way. Because we've got a lot of ground to cover, and I would love to dive deeper into these other training sessions and how I'm planning out my days and how I'm planning these training and how it's actually affecting me. And for those who are really data analytical like myself, I'll have some videos dedicated specifically to dive into my stats and my analytics of training and heart rate and power outputs and running strides and swimming strokes and everything else, like, because I love talking about that and I love diving into that. I know it's not for everybody, so when those videos come out, just skip to the next one, right? So anyways, you know, like, let's get out there, let's train hard, let's live with purpose, right? Because that's kind of what this has brought back, right? Some purpose and some energy back into my life, in a sense of, you know, being stuck on a desk, stuck in the corporate world. My body felt like crap, and I felt like I didn't have the energy to be that good dad, to be that good husband that I need to be. And this is just, like I said, reignited that passion for all of it, not just for fitness and being on the bike again. So let's get out there, enjoy the ride, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.